Welcome back to the bonus episode of Girl, Let's Be Honest. Thank you guys so much for all your feedback the last week. I know that was like a very long, chaotic, crazy story, but it really just deserved to be told in its entirety. All the good, all the bad, all of the ugly. And you guys have been so great with all of your support and your feedback, and I really do appreciate it. So I know that the original episode got all messed up, so I released the bonus episode on Saturday, but what you can expect moving forward is the main episode Saturday and the bonus episode on Wednesdays. So I've been thinking about what I wanted to talk about in this bonus episode, and really what I've come up with is that I want to talk about friendships in adulthood and things you should and shouldn't tolerate and when you should know to walk away. I was thinking about this because I was getting my hair done yesterday, and I haven't had my hair done by anybody but myself, except a trim, since me and my ex best friend stopped being friends because she was my hairstylist. Me and her became really good friends in 2016, and we remained really good friends until 2022. We were so close that I would call her my wife. She was my wifey. And I'm not going to give you the full story on how that friendship ended because I only have my perspective, because she gave me zero communication, zero reasoning, zero anything. She basically just blocked me on everything, and that was it. Literally have not spoken to her since. It's been years. And so I can't even give you any insight on why this happened. I can't imagine a world where you are best friends with somebody for 5 years and then you just block them on everything and then that's it. But I will give you my point of view on the whole story. And basically, this is going to be the segment where we talk about if you're an adult and you have a friendship and it's very one-sided, or I don't know, maybe they make the friendship all about them, or maybe you're the only one putting in effort. Because for me, that's what it was. I felt like I was the only one who was putting in any effort into this friendship at this time. And it was very exhausting. I would FaceTime, I would text, I would call. At the 6 months before we stopped being friends, I was the only one making any effort. So if you fast forward 6 months, by the time that I finally just served her with divorce papers, because that's literally what I did, I took a screenshot on Google of divorce papers and sent it to her because we really took us being wives seriously. Which is so crazy because I'm about to actually have a wife. When she saw those divorce papers, she blocked me on everything: Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, the phone. Said nothing. But really what it was for me was that I was the only one reaching out, the only one calling. She wasn't calling back. She wasn't texting back. She never communicated her feelings with me. And she said that she would do Sophia's hair for homecoming. And then she blew her off. So that was my breaking point. You can blow me off, you can ignore me, but when my kid is expecting you to come do her hair and then you ghost her, this is where I was I'm done. So I wish I could tell you, I wish I could give you any insight onto why it was that she was acting this way, but she never gave me the common courtesy to ever express any of her feelings. So I truly don't know what the issue was. I know that she has told her side of the story to mutual friends of ours, but they are good friends, and I honestly, I haven't really tried to pry or ask. So that's who she chose to share that with. She didn't choose to share that with me. So I feel there are certain things when you're growing up and you're in high school or middle school and you have these friends and you start growing and you each start becoming your own individual people, and you want to keep those friendships. And I can understand that because I'm pretty much still friends with everybody who I was friends with in high school. We haven't had any falling out. I've kept a lot of my friends from high school. We are still really good friends. I had a falling out with my best friend when when I became an addict. She had a really hard time with me and it drove a wedge between us. And it took me so many years to be able to even get her to speak to me again. And really, what it was like I broke her heart. We were inseparable. She was my best friend. We did everything together. Her mom was like the mom that I never had. And whenever me and my stepmom would fight, I would go stay the night at her house. We did everything together. I mean, we were literally connected at the hip. And then I started doing drugs and I broke her heart. She came to my rehab the first time I went. She came to family counseling. She cried. She felt like I had abandoned her. And I get it. I did. And then, she got pregnant and she chose her kid over me. And I completely respected that. And then when I got clean, I reached out, I tried and I tried and I tried. And for 2.5 years, she would not respond to me. So I think at like 3 years clean, she finally kind of came around. And at that point, you come to realize that I am now this person in recovery who doesn't drink, who doesn't smoke weed, all the things that we used to do together. I don't go to the bars. And these are all things that she does because she's like very normal and she's never had a problem with it. So we never really got back to where we were. And I, spent years in recovery building relationships with new people. And I never gave up. Like I would see her often. She worked right next to my house and I would often go into her work and get stuff. And I would always say hello to her. I would always like tag her in stuff that reminded me of her. And then I had invited her to come to a concert because we loved music. Me and her, that was like our thing. We bonded over music. We always went through these weird like genre changes through high school together where we were like all like really rap and then we like transitioned in like 80s hair metal and then country, classic rock, reggae. Like we always ebbed and flowed. Sublime was our favorite band. It's really anytime I want to like think about her, I just play Sublime. But I had invited her to go see REO Speedwagon with me and my uncle. This was 2024. So September, Labor Day in September of 2024. And I was camping and I was really excited to spend some time with her and like get back to where we were because like I knew music would like bring us back together. And so yeah, my sister was calling me at 6 o'clock in the morning while I was sleeping in this tent where I barely had any service. We were at Diamond Lake, which is like in the middle of nowhere in like Southern Oregon. And I ignored her and then she called back and I just thought, oh my God, what's wrong? And I answered the phone and she was like, Nikki Cortland died. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She died. Her sister posted something on Facebook. And I was like, what? And I was like, hold on, let me call her mom. So I call her mom and it's 6 o'clock in the morning. And I call her mom and she is just wailing, my baby, I lost my baby. She's gone. They can't find her. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? And so she was she was on a boat and she was on a boat and the driver was a young kid yeah, 21 years old, not drinking, but driving recklessly, and took a turn so fast that it flung her off the front of the boat, and she hit her head on the side, and it gave her such blunt force trauma. It knocked her out, and then she drowned. And I promise, like, not every episode is gonna be a really sad episode, but it's her birthday this week, and we're gonna do a candle float for her where she died. And I just wanted to talk about her because I think when she passed away, um, I was already grieving so bad that she really didn't get the grief from me that she deserved. Like, I think I was so numb by the time she died that it never really hit me. And I don't think it still has hit me yet. And I mean, it definitely hit me at her funeral. And I don't know if my brain has just protected me because I've already gone through so much grief and trauma in the last, like, she died 8 months after my best friend died, and she was like, I had matching tattoos with her, like, she was my soulmate. If any friend can be a soulmate, it was her. And so I just wanted, like, it's gonna be her birthday, and we're gonna do that. I just really wanted to talk about her with it being her birthday this week and the candle float, and I have this really beautiful picture of her, and, I loved her so much, and I grew up with her, and she was my safe place because I didn't really have a safe place at home, and I just feel so bad for her daughter who has to just grow up without her mom. But the whole point of that was that I had, like, such an amazing group of friends in high school, and I'm still very much friends with them now. I never really fell out of touch with any of them, but I did wanna talk about, like, adulthood friendships because that has been a different story for me, and I think that, like, being from Narcotics Anonymous, you tend to just be pretty friendly with most people, and I think that for a reason or a season, people can come and people can go, and that's okay. You just have to figure out for yourself, what are you willing to deal with? There have been people in recovery that have been in my friend group that I've considered a really good friend of mine that I even, like, have asked to be in my previous bridal party that I don't speak with now. And I think it just takes a lot of self-reflection, self-respect, like determining if behaviors that they exude, if these are things that it's up to you whether you can relate to that or not. So if people are doing things that you do not align with, it is okay to walk away and just, you don't have to have them in your circle. I think I struggle a lot with, like, really wanting to be liked by a lot of people, but I actually don't really care to be friends with everybody, and it's taken 35 years to come up with that, to figure that one out. I think people, if, like, their character is shady or they are just create chaos or turmoil or disrupt your peace, like, you don't have to be friends with them, and that's okay, and you don't even have to, like, answer to them. You can just create a boundary. I don't really like the way you act in this way. It doesn't align with me. And I think it better that we not be friends, or you can just let it kind of fizzle out. And that's kind of how it's been for me. For a lot of these friendships, it's just kind of fizzled out. I think a lot of people took it personal when I left the rooms in Narcotics Anonymous. And instead of, like, reaching out and having a conversation with me, they just chose to not speak to me again. And that's also okay. I do not take that personal at all. My people are my people. They're my close friends. I really love them. So if you're, like, struggling with any of that, I hope something that I said might resonate with you and might make sense. One thing I've learned is, like, healing doesn't make you soft, it just makes you selective. So I think that is very powerful. It's okay to be soft. It's okay to be hard exterior with a soft inside, but the healed version of you is gonna make choices for you that maybe you wouldn't have made before, and it's gonna keep you from situations that you may not have protected yourself from before, but you're protecting yourself now. So if there's a big trip, like a big girls trip, and there's people going on this girls trip that you know are gonna, like, ruin your time, you can either choose to have a conversation with the person who is putting this trip together, or you can just choose not to go and, like, stick up for yourself, because the way that you feel and the way that people make you feel, it matters. So I kind of wanted to give, like, a little update, a little, like, real-time life update, like a little weekly check-in. Um, Cortland's birthday this week has been pretty heavy on my heart. I'm gonna go with her sister. Her sister, I think, has probably been her I mean, obviously, her family would be suffering the most, but her and her sister were, like, they became best friends. So I'm really gonna try to be there for her and support her and love her and just have that time with them. I can't wait to give her daughter a hug. I think it'll be really healing for all of us just to be together. I think things that have been exciting this week is that it's my daughter's 18th birthday on Saturday, and I'm also going to be doing a, photo shoot for my podcast. I think that's gonna be so much fun. I really love my friend Kate. She does all of my shoots. She did my engagement shoot, she did my graduation shoot, she did Sophia's senior pictures, and now she's gonna do this, and that way it's not just, like, the logo, it's gonna be, like, an actual, like, promo for the podcast with me in it. There's been a little bit of turmoil at work, and I think it could be hormone related, but I'm really glad that, like, I have people at work where if there are things coming up that I can be vulnerable with, because I think if I just share, this is what I did. I was just sharing, like, I didn't really feel like people liked me when I started working there. And I know not everybody's gonna like me, but when you're at work, you don't wanna feel unwanted, and I don't know if any of that was, like, in my head, but I did choose, like, this week to kinda bring it up and talk about it, and I do feel a lot better about that. I think the thing I've been struggling the most is I've been trying to build my social media, and it's a little bit different than when, like, people were sitting at home on their phones during 2020, like, if we're being real, which, I mean, the name of the podcast is Girl, Let's Be Honest. So, I was doing a lot of, like, thirst traps back in 2020. I mean, I was off the chain. I was engaged, but I was, like, acting out. But I got popular because of my naughty videos, and I just can't do that anymore. So I've been trying to be consistent, post 2 to 3 times a day on my podcast, TikTok, on my personal TikTok, because I feel like I can promote the podcast through my personal TikTok. I have like 85,000 followers on there. And I guess maybe like they did not follow me originally to follow my podcast, but I have been slowly but surely, we're almost, I think, hold on, let me look. I think we're at, on the podcast TikTok, we are at 93 followers. Humbling. And I think a little bit of me is worried that, like, what if people don't like the podcast, right? And so far, people have been really kind, but these are people I know, so I don't know. Anyway, just a little bit of my insecurity. I just wanna keep it, real with you guys. I hope that some of that made sense. I know I rambled a little bit, but I appreciate your guys' support so much. Please, 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 if you don't follow me on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, please go and do that. Like my episode if you like it. You can leave me any comments. I did do a little survey where I was like, ask me any questions you'd like for me to share on the pod. And I did have only one person respond. So I think I'm going to include that in the next episode because it kind of goes in with like the whole theme that I wanted to have for that episode anyway. So thanks so much for tuning in. And I'll see you guys on Saturday for the full episode. Thanks, guys.